Hello guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Chief Dog 74 and let's get into this one. So once again, I'm very sorry that I haven't been uploading. I know it's been, I reckon, about 2 weeks now since I last uploaded, which of course was that podium in Canada. I really haven't been having so much time, and possibly this series may come down to only being on a Sunday, which I suppose it kind of makes sense in terms of real life with a race only every Sunday. But I've been dying to get back into this because of course I only play it when I'm recording it, so there's that to do. But I have got like the Sky access now, so I'll be able to watch the Grand Prix live now, which would be which is great. So that means I'll be doing this talk now, obviously the pre-race part. The practice sessions then have the real life race and do qualifying and my race as well, which should be good, but I'm not going to spoil it for anyone because they could be watching it 6 hours later like I used to do. Anyway though, we're at France here. A very straight course, lots of overtaking opportunities, and I reckon this is the race to switch the power unit, because we're really going to benefit if we do switch it now rather than later. So we'll go ahead and fit that component, and we'll fit this component as well. So now we're all on the 2s, and these power units should hopefully last the whole season. Maybe get a bit worn at the end, but of course that's nothing too much to worry about. These we're probably going to change at race number 14, so we'll probably do that then, and then hopefully these should last till the end of the season. But we do have 5 million in the bank. We could save for a driver. When is the contract period? I believe it's around July time, so yeah, actually it's coming very close, so perhaps hold off, try and get one of these lower down teammates, such as not these ones, perhaps like George Russell as a teammate, or one of these 6 million drivers. Probably would be a better teammate compared to One Man Correa at the moment. But of course he's an F2 driver, so their abilities won't be as great as an F1 driver in that respect. But we'll kick this off with a 5-day event. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Then add this one, I reckon, and I reckon we should get the chassis a bit of love there. So we'll have seems like we have an upgrade coming in. Obviously it's been 2 weeks, so I can't remember. So yeah, a drag reduction one, a major drag reduction, so if that goes through, that'll be very handy around here at France. But let's just go ahead and see if it does come in, which it does, so that is very good right there, and definitely very happy about that, especially in a race weekend such as this one. We have 5.75 million in the bank, and of course that contract period is coming very soon, so we'll have to see if we can get a good race here at France. It's fairly new to me though. I know it was in I think it debuted 2017, 2018, but I didn't buy the game then, so I bought the 2019 one, so I did a little bit of practice on it, and I've done some on this one as well, but nothing too fancy, so practice is going to be very, very good for me to try out, and I'll see you at qualifying, where I most likely would have watched the race. So there we go, I've now watched the Grand Prix. It was definitely a good one, so it's worth a watch, but I won't be spoiling anything for anyone that hasn't watched it yet. My video may come out just after it's finished on the highlights of Channel 4, but I'm not quite sure yet. Anyway, back to our race, and of course France here. It's Renault's home GP, so be looking to try and help out the engine in that way, but yeah, excited for this one. It's very, very fast, a whole bunch of straights of course, and let's see what we can pull off. This is my starting banker lap, and yeah, nothing really too much special about that. So we just came through turn 2 there, then on to turn 11 here, I believe. Just finishing off this lap, quite clean, sticking to the 0 line out of 12. Then we've got this very, very, very long 13, again sticking to the line. Then the turn 14 and 15, I can't quite remember, just riding the curb there a bit, and it's across the line for P2, but that of course will change down to a P5 at the moment as I do my second lap to see if I can improve. So we come across the line this time, but on the mini-map ahead we have some traffic, one of them being my teammate Juan Manuel Correa. He lets us go there. Later on in this same lap, Latifi, I mean, he gives us a bit of a slingshot, but not good enough to gain us any time there. So we gain a bit there, but by the time we're up to Russell, we'll start losing it as he makes us go wide for this corner. So all in all, not very great for this lap. I tried to get out before everyone else did, and unfortunately didn't quite do it. Again, forced into a mistake there because of how slow Russell's going. So yeah, not particularly great. We're just gonna have to hope that our banker lap can keep us in a good position, in which it does, a P6. So definitely happy about that. Our teammate down in 20th again. Luckily, we've got a we have a new or we'll be getting a new teammate fairly soon. Not the next race, but the race after that. A P6 though, and Albon down in P12. We got Perez and Gasly behind us too, so it's definitely looking to be a spicy race. And we've got Claire here once again. Well, yes, we're hopefully going to be carrying that into the race, because obviously we want to get as good as we can. So we'll have to see here.
How do you think this team will be feeling after that result?
Well, I mean, they are the worst team, so you know, they're probably just thinking meh, but I decided to be a bit kind, I suppose.
Great. Well, that's everything.
So there we go then. Interview with Claire has been done, and yes, Jeff, let's hope we have a good chance. Race looking dry this time, so hopefully, well, there shouldn't be any more changes to the weather in that respect. We do have a lot of resource points now, so we'll be spending them next race, but it's on to this one, the French GP, now.
Welcome along then to France, host of the world famous Tour de France. But we're not talking 2 wheels today, we're talking 4, in a country widely thought of as giving birth to the art of motor racing back in the late 1800s. We've come a long way since then, and you're about to find out how far. It's time for the French Grand Prix. 6 lefts and 9 rights give us a total of 15 corners here at the Circuit Paul Ricard, and a lap covers an overall distance of 3.6 miles. Average speeds will be somewhere in the region of 142 miles per hour, and they'll be maxing out on the Mistral Straight at around 205 miles per hour. And with me as usual is Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about Blue. That was a great podium in the last race, so can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
There are never any guarantees in this business, but certainly the performance last time out would have boosted their confidence coming into this one.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Sebastian Vettel will start on pole. Fantastic qualifying from the multiple world champion. And it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Leclerc, Bottas, Max Verstappen, Blue, Perez, Gasly, Stroll, and Daniel Kvyat. Sainz, Albon, Esteban Ocon, and Ricciardo, Raikkonen, Norris, Romain Grosjean, and Antonio Giovinazzi. Magnussen, Correa, Russell, and Nicholas Latifi. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head to trackside for today's race.
This is our engine supplier's home Grand Prix. Let's give them a race worth watching.
So yep, some wise words from Jeff. Hopefully we can do that. I'd be very chuffed if we could do that. Impress Renault here. Starting in P6, and strategy looks to be soft to medium. Only 4 laps on the softs, which I suppose is quite correct, because France has a lot of tyre wear, especially on them straights and the very long corners it has around here at high speeds. But let's have a look at what we can do from the start of the race, as we now go down to 5 red lights, the 10th race in this season, and we're underway. And Verstappen has a terrible start. We kind of get boxed in, try and go round the outside of Leclerc, and Bottas have to slow down though, give them the room. Now Verstappen is right next to us again, makes us go wide here. He gets the move for now, and now Gasly thinks, hey, I'll take one of them, and tries to go down the inside of us. I am fairly quick in those 2 chicane-like corners, and apparently here as well, as we get Gasly, and now we're side by side with Verstappen. A little bit of contact made, and unfortunately that's just how it goes for Verstappen. And now we're up into P5, and Verstappen and Gasly now having a battle on this straight. Of course, Gasly the home favourite here, and spoiler alert, spoiler alert from last weekend, the winner of course at Monza. So yeah, definitely good for Gasly in that respect. He's up into P6. Let's have a look at that start once again then. So it was quite the switch, I must say. We made sure to block Verstappen quite quickly, went a bit wide in this corner, had to slow down, otherwise it would have went straight into the back of Leclerc there. Then we go very wide there, as you can see. Verstappen gets in front, and Gasly right beside us there, and we fight it all the way through this corner. Then as we go and try and go round the outside of Verstappen, he gets slowed by Leclerc, and therefore Gasly also gets slowed by Verstappen. There's the little bit of contact there as well, and then Gasly just hasn't a bullet, absolute, like, he's just super fast. It's so hard to find words for how fast he was going against the sister team of Red Bull there. Let's have a look at Verstappen's start. Of course, he was the other one on this third row here, next to us there, and so we cut across quite quickly there, make sure to defend him, and he kind of just sits back until he realizes he can get a move here. He goes on the inside, gets the job done nice and easily there, and now he can have a look in his mirrors as me and Gasly fight. I look to go round the outside of Verstappen, do it here. He of course slows down here, and then have a little bit of a grazing of side pods. We have to slow down a bit there, so perhaps Verstappen not so happy about that. This is the start from Gasly, so it's a initially pretty decent one. He's kind of right with Perez there as they go down to the start finish straight, and he gets the move done and blocks off Stroll there. Then he gets a very good amount of slipstream there, and then goes side by side as we go through turn 4 there, then turn 5 here, and he has to slow down, otherwise he goes straight into the back of Verstappen and me. Then I force Verstappen a little bit into a mistake there. He gets the slipstream, no DRS as of yet. He probably uses overtake and rich mix as we go down this very long straight. He brakes a little bit earlier than Verstappen, but is able to go side by side through this corner, and forces Verstappen wide a bit, not wide, forces Verstappen out, and Gasly gets the move done there, up into P6 for him, and now we look to make a move on Leclerc onto the second lap now, and for some reason he's a bit powerless here. It's almost as if the update for Ferrari had come early, but no, just him not being able to fight back there, and again he couldn't fight back here either, so not sure what's happened to Leclerc on this second lap here. We'll have a quick replay from the outside camera, and we'll do one from his camera as well, but yeah, not too sure what made him screw up there, or he couldn't just catch me in time, whatever. I do hit the bollard a bit too much into the corner there, so perhaps could have got a penalty there if it was strict, but I don't run them rules, unfortunately for some. Here I am then against Leclerc here, and he was really powerless there, wasn't he? And I go a bit wide, a bit too much into this corner. He has to slow down, otherwise we would have collided. So I suppose I was a bit reckless really through this start of the race. but of course, as all races do, we settle down eventually. But one man that's not settling down is Leclerc, and well, he tries to go down the inside there. We force him out a bit. He just tucks in right behind though, as this lap we will be coming in onto the pit stop, so could have let him go by but decided not to. Up ahead, Bottas overtakes Hamilton. We go very wide, and that leaves Leclerc right next to us as we go around this very large corner. I go super wide to leave him the space. They're still side by side through this corner, but unfortunately Leclerc does have to give up in the end, and we remain in P4 for the time being. Let's have a look at it from the outside camera there, and wow, that's pretty good. Red versus blue, I suppose, and we eventually get the job done there. He was powerless to the human control over the car, I suppose. But into this lap we go with the only one that decides to pit this early, so perhaps a undercut on the way, who knows. But this pit lane very slow, 37 miles per hour, so I know it doesn't sound too slow for us, but in F1 standards that's awfully slow. 2.7 for the pit stop, so just an average one from the team there, but average will do on this circuit. We can always cut through traffic if need be, but a lap later then, and all these cars have pit. Vettel is ahead, but a bit too far out of reach here, unfortunately, so not particularly as great there, I suppose. All the other cars coming, or a lot of the other cars come into the pits now this lap, including my teammate. So we jump up the order to P6, get in front of Leclerc there as he starts to exit the pit now. So very happy about that one. And next lap in, Norris and Giovinazzi stayed out a bit longer there, and now we're up into P4 as we should do. Surprisingly, Leclerc is on the hard, so not sure what his strategy is. Could be a deciding factor in the end, but there's yellow flags behind us, and who is it going to be? Could just be an AI mistake or error. And now, as we see, unfortunately Esteban Ocon is out of this Grand Prix, so the Renault driver, of course the French as well I believe, has gone out, and just there you can hear the failure of the engine there as he slows down, holding up one of the Alfa Romeos there, and comes to a stop. So not been a great day for Renault here. Probably expecting to, well, hoping that they were in my position. Later on down the line though, and I've zoomed it in for you there, we do have problems with the engine. Not too bad ones, just wear, but nonetheless that will be affecting us in future races. We're on to the last lap already though, because not too much action happened at all in this second stint for us. Leclerc did close the gap down on his hard, so perhaps they would have worked out, but perhaps if he was on mediums he would have been able to overtake us, but not quite this time. So another P4, and I reckon I'm going to bump up the difficulty again, because that's a bit crazy there. Cause I believe we've been 4th, 3rd and 4th, so yeah, there you go. Daniel Ricciardo does get the driver of the day though, so some good news for Renault in that respect. And well, this was how small the gap was at the end of this race then. Leclerc fought valiantly, but we do come out on top this time once again, which is always nice to see. And I reckon we did Renault quite proud here.
So, another fantastic victory for the Silver Arrows. What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
I'd say it was down once again to good, consistent driving, nailing the corners, working to the track conditions and perfecting the team's strategies. They got all of these things right today and the results speak for themselves.
Magnificent race. We can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot. A well-earned victory for Mercedes. So let's review the updated driver.
So there we have it then. We're still in P7 on the drivers' standings, but I believe we're going to be dropping down later on. Pierre Gasly in the end only got 9th, so perhaps pit stops didn't go as great now. We go up into P4 though in the constructors, but as I said, I'm going to be raising the AI level because we shouldn't be there just yet, I think. I mean, we're a starting out team, so we'll take the points here, but expect us not to do so well in the next race, which will be Austria. So there we have it there then. Austria usually been a decent circuit for me, so let's hope we can do perhaps not as good as today, but I'd like to still stay in the top 10 if possible there. We extend our lead in the rivalry against Daniel Ricciardo. We do go up to level 10 for our team, which means next time it's another sponsor, so that's something to look forward to there. Speaking of sponsors, we get all the cash from the sponsors, and no damage this time, so we kept it clean for the most part, and now we're up to 6.89 million, so when we get our next pay for the next race and in between the weekends, hopefully we should have enough to buy one of them lower down F1 drivers, and hopefully we have the HQs for them as well. We'll have to see there though. If not, then we can always just get another F2 driver and spend some more money on HQs for the next driver there. So yeah, there you go then. It's been a pretty decent weekend overall. You can see now we're bumping up the difficulty. I did think about Master, but we'll keep it at 85, see what we can do there for Austria, and then if I still need to rise it up, then I'm very well prepared to, of course, do that. R&D, we've got one which will be coming in for Britain, and the wear on our car once again starting to rise on these parts. Of course, the new sponsor for next time as well. That's always great there to add another sponsor to the car. And there we go. So a 4th position there for us. Average finish of 10th now, so that's bumped up. But there you have it then. It's it's been a pretty good weekend, as I said before. Austria next, so the shortest circuit. So it's a pretty decent circuit, I must say. Small amount of activities in between the weekends though, unfortunately. However though, if you did enjoy this video, be sure to hit the like button. If you'd like to go the extra mile or the extra victory lap, then go ahead and subscribe, especially if you like all my other content as well. Comment below on anything you enjoyed or any feedback you'd like to give me, and I'll see what I can do. About it. But until then, though, this has been Chief Dog 74. Austria next. So let's go ahead and smash that one out the park.